I'm Stacy Pingree, the founder of Radiant Financial Group and this Legacy Wealth Building podcast. We are here today to honor the stories and share different experiences from our guests who have just come from a myriad of backgrounds. If you're your first time joining us, we welcome a guest today who is an awesome team leader at the West Desert Realty Group. Am I saying it right? West Desert Real Estate Group at W & Partners. Tiffany Pettit, who's also become a friend, and she's an amazing leader and has been in the business since 2002. She's the cornerstone of Phoenix real estate. She's got an extensive background in all types of real estate investing and areas of the valley, really. I mean, you're from commercial to residential land.
Yep.
She does it all. And I'm so honored to have Tiffany with us today because not only is she an exceptional leader, but she's one of the founding members of our mastermind group. She pours not only into her team with just all heart and her values, the values that she believes in with teamwork and collaboration, but also into our group beyond her team. So I'm really honored to be a part of that, and I'm happy to have her here today. In addition to that, she is an investor herself. So I thought today it would be fun to talk through strategies that she's been able to, I guess, put in play for yourself, but also for your clients, how you help them build wealth as well. So I would love to get so welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As everybody knows that watches the show, any guests, any guests we have, I'm super passionate, obviously, and you know that too from knowing me, that about building legacy wealth. I love the idea that, it's legacy wealth. Legacy is not something that you leave for somebody, right? It's something that you create in somebody. So for me, sharing stories that, of just how you got started and where you come from and how you do your business, it is so incredible to me how unique everyone is and how they still find success in this business. I have a saying that, there's community over competition. There's enough business to go around for everybody. So it's awesome to hear these stories. And I love that when people share their stories. So I would love to just start with you telling a little bit about yourself and how you got in it.
I have not been in real estate since 2002. It's been since 2011. So 15 years now. Oh,
I don't know. I don't know where it came. Somehow my notes have 2002. So I gave you extra.
That's when I got to Phoenix.
Oh, maybe
from
that's
Wyoming.
What it was. Okay.
So I grew up in Wyoming, moved to Phoenix. I was in the military for 9 years. Just decided I had enough of that because I wanted to be, with my kids and not gone all the time. And that's when I got my real estate license and started selling real estate.
Okay, so you're from Wyoming. I'm from Montana. So you grew up. Is your setting of growing up? Is it rural? Is it like what's?
Yes, like a town of 800 people in the mountains of Wyoming, and I grew up on an exotic animal ranch,
which is super common.
Yeah.
Everybody does that.
And then I had enough of the snow, and I was like, as soon as I got in the military, I'm like, I got to get the heck out of Wyoming.
I know the city you're from. What is it?
It's Story, but it's right outside of Sheridan.
Okay, yeah, Sheridan.
I'm sure Sheridan. Casper. I was born in Casper. Yeah.
Okay. So those aren't small, but the town you're from is smaller.
Yeah, tiny.
Okay.
No stoplights in town.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what kind of exotic animals?
Llamas, miniature donkeys, fainting goats. My mom had a wallaby.
Oh my gosh.
You name it.
How did they get into? I just have to ask because that is very
She's
crazy.
Weird. She just likes all the weird animals, and she's like that. She'd rather be with animals than, with people.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I understand that. We have several people in our office that way. That Andrea was one of them. She loves animals more than she loves people. So
I can kind of relate sometimes.
Yeah. So that is funny. Like leading right into you. So you came to Arizona in 2002. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you say you were in the military.
Yeah.
Is that what drew you here?
Yeah. Well, my aunt lived here, and she said it never snowed. And so I was like, okay, I want to go there.
I know. I told the story about leaving Great Falls because I'm from Great Falls, Montana. And I'm like we graduated, had our little graduation parties, whatever, my senior year. And then I burned rubber getting out of the driveway. My mom was like, bye. I wanted to get out so bad and get somewhere where it was warm and there were more people and more opportunity. And so I totally relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, you're in the military. What'd you do?
No. I was in logistics. I was a heavy equipment operator. I did that one for fun.
Wow.
And then we at the end, we were mobilizing companies. So we were on a team that would go to different mobilization stations like Washington and Mississippi and Texas, and then help get all the equipment they needed to mobilize over to Iraq or Afghanistan. And that's when I had my first baby, and then I got pregnant with my second one, and I'm like,
okay,
I can't do this anymore.
So
I can't be gone
husband,
so much.
Were you and your husband together in the?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got married and spent our first and second anniversaries in Iraq.
Wow, that's pretty intense. Okay, so what drew you into real estate? I mean, what got that going?
I mean, my dad's like, I'm like, what am I going to do? I have all these, I have kids, I have like a house, I have responsibilities, and now I want to get out of the military. And my dad's like, I think you'd be a great realtor. Like, my aunt was a realtor, so she was a realtor in the Valley here for 30 years. Okay. I'm like, okay, well, she can teach me what to do. So I got my license while I was pregnant, and then left the military. And
did you jump right into? Okay, so did you keep got licensed while you were still there?
Yeah. So I got licensed. I got out and started the military like simultaneously.
Okay.
I mean, started real estate simultaneously.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you start right into real estate as an agent, or did you kind of work as how did you start?
I worked a little bit with her. She was more a mentor, but she was not for the team situation. Back when we started, there was no such thing as teams unless it was like a husband-wife team, or you never heard about it back then.
Yeah.
I worked as a TC for a long time with a gal, and then we actually did team up and work together for about 10 years. She's really big in the horse property business.
Okay.
Taught me a ton.
That's a great way to get going.
Yeah. And then when I was like, I want to start a team, I want to like pour back into people and share the mentorship that I was so grateful to have all those years. I had between my aunt and Kim and a couple other people, I was just so grateful to have them, like a phone call away all the time.
Yeah.
So, but she was like, I'm not doing a team. I don't have any interest in that at all. So that's kind of when we split our ways, and we still work together some, but not it wasn't what you wanted to build something on your own. Mm-hmm. And I think once you have that, like, once you know you can go do it on your own, there's really, I mean, you're going to go do it on your own. I mean, in a way, right? Yeah. It goes from being a partnership to like you kind of creating your own thing in a way. All right. So you get into real estate, and then how long did it take you to really get to where you felt, when did you start building the team? 10 years, then you said? It was 5 years ago this month.
Okay, good. So yeah, like 20, I mean, basically.
So I've been 15, I did 10 years of my, other things. And then the last 5 years has been with the team.
Yeah. So tell us about your team. I love your team.
I love my team too. So I always say that I feel like we're a little different. We're individual agents just working in like a collaborative group. So, nobody has to co-list. Nobody has to brand my brand. It's just, we need to collaborate. They want good mentorship. I spent a lot of time. I started the team, and then COVID hit the next month. So that gave me a lot of time to get systems in place. And then I hired a coach, Aaron Hodson from Sellwell. Do you know him?
Yep.
Really love Aaron. And he really helped me get my systems in place. And so it's just like a very easy flow into starting up your real estate career.
Yeah. How many people on your team now?
I think we just signed up the 16th person, that's about as big as it's ever been.
Yeah, congratulations. That's a big team to be operating, and I know how much you pour into it. So I kind of wanted to unpack that a little bit, because I think if anyone's listening that has a day job, right, that has their current job, but they love real estate, or they love investing, or they want to get into something. I mean, this is a natural way. They want to get into it, but they don't really have the wherewithal to just drop their job and start real estate tomorrow. And I know you have a few of those, even early kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, of the business folks. But not that we all want everybody to be successful and join in full time, right? I mean, that's ideal. But like for some, it's just a really great way to get the mentorship, to be a part of something bigger, to feel it's such a lonely business.
Yeah.
Inherently, right? I mean, you're out there. And I remember my husband used to always say to me when he was an agent 20 years ago, he's like, if I'm in the office, his mentality was, if I'm in the office, I'm not selling to other agents. If I'm not in the office, I'm not working. So if I'm in the office, I'm not working. And I just feel like that's such a different mentality. Not that you want everybody sitting in the office all the time, but I feel like you guys have got such an incredible culture within W & Partners and within your teams, even specifically, because I've come in to help do some trainings and things like that. And it is completely and totally collaborative. We're just pouring into each other. Everybody's sharing ideas. And so, I mean, how do you make that work? Because it is hard.
I mean, it's a totally different feel. I've been with, I think WM Partners is my 4th brokerage that I've been with over the years, and it is collaborative. Like, we tell people, you should come into the office. Like, there isn't a day that we're in there that a deal doesn't come together, whether, we're talking about a listing we have coming up off market, or, somebody's like, hey, I got a new rental listing. I don't want to take it. Does one of your new agents want it? Or, I mean, there's just always something like, I heard that you have the system in place. Would you mind sharing that with me? I mean, it's like that all the time. I mean, Lauren, our broker, she breathes that. And then I was in the military. Like, we're used to being in a group. You have to collaborate. You have to have each other's back. Like, that's just the culture I wanted and the culture I kind of demand on my team.
Yeah. And they do.
Yeah.
They're all there for each other.
Yeah. I mean, they're truthfully, my team is some of my best friends.
Yeah. That's incredible. It's hard to build that in like regular life. Forget like the work environment, I see you, I know you. We before the show started here, we were talking about, I was asking you, do you consider yourself an introvert? It's really funny because I know, right? And what's funny about your response is like, yeah, I do, but it's so funny to me because you don't have that, like, you're quiet, you're kind of like, and even when you have team meetings, you have a partner in your team, that helps you run the team. So we don't want to forget to mention Brandon because Brandon's
can't forget Brandon.
I know you wouldn't do it without Brandon.
Right.
I know you already told me that. Brandon's amazing too, and he's got a big personality. And I just think that like that really works well for you too. But even before him though, before you started working with Brandon, how did you, I think people put like a real estate, a salesperson in general, real estate, you're in sales. You should be, I think it's fair for people that are out there saying like, I can still be, understand systems, understand how to relate to people, what else goes with sales? Relatability, deepening relationships, becoming close to them and fulfilling their dreams and all that, but what's been it's a niche for you because you're not like a big salesperson.
Mm-mm.
So how have you used it? How have you used that to your advantage?
I think it's just creating relationships and trust with people. Like I'm really great about, I heard somebody say this the other day. It was a athletic agent. Yep. And he was speaking at an event I was at, and he's like, you can't think about the deal that you're in right now, the relationship with the deal you're in right now. You have to think of the next 10. Yeah. And that's how you like create these long relationships with these clients that they're going to come back to you all the time. And I've been able to do that. And that's where, everything I have is from referrals. Yeah. I've been lucky enough with the title people I work with and the lenders I work with and things that always send their business to me because I just try to create really real relationships with people. And I always think, like I always tell my agents, I'm like, really, you're just selling yourself. Real estate will sell itself. Like everybody's going to want a different house. I wouldn't buy half the houses I ever showed.
Yeah.
You just have to show your work ethic, your communication, your passion, your compassion for people. Like if you can make them believe that you have those things, then it's easy to get repeat clientele.
Yeah. Yeah. So the big showmanship thing is not always the best.
No, it's just not my vibe. This is as dressed up as I've been in. It's usually t-shirts, jeans, and just, having relationships, making relationships, calling, texting people constantly. Yeah.
How important is it to you? I was going to laugh because I was going to say, you can't get super dressed up because you also have a mini farm that the legacy carries on, right? That you don't have the exotic animals necessarily, but you do have.
Yeah, no, we got too many horses, some goats. For the longest time, we milked our goats, but now my kids are too grown up and busy to help me with that. And then potbelly pigs, chickens.
I love it. Right in the middle of Glendale.
Right in the middle of Glendale.
So she's not in some farm off of, out in Wickenburg. You're like right in the middle of Glendale. I love it. How important has it been for you? I mentioned we started about the mastermind, and again, you being a leader on your team and pouring into them. I know how much you pour into the education for that team, and going back to legacy, because really this is about you and building. And again, wealth is not just money, right? I talk about on this show, but really, you know me too, and it's more. What's really important to me is We've got kids similar ages. I've got a daughter graduating from high school this year. I know. Don't even get me started. This can't turn into a cry fest.
Right.
But so, and even right now, just watching her make decisions based on her experience being our kid, you know what I mean? And I'm watching your kids. I mean, I watch them on social media, and so cool to see people just living their best life and reaching for the stars. And I know your son is, I know they aspire for theater and all kinds of they're talented, but it takes so much work. It takes practice. And I think you teaching them, you and I talked once about the theater, about the triple threat. You got to be dancing, acting, singing. You work on your voice. All these things are 3 things if you're going to get really good. And I always think about that. I think with all the mentorship stuff that you do, but what do you do to pour into yourself? Because it takes, it's a big question.
We love to travel.
Yeah.
And we love to, and I just love to hang with my kids, but really, it was hang with my farm, but really, I love my job. I do. It makes me happy to sell houses. It makes me happy to watch my little baby investors now investing in these big, huge things. I love to see my agent get their first deal under contract. I just but as far as pouring in myself, growth in me, if truthfully, and I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting in front of you, but really putting myself in rooms with people that are doing way more than me is my goal in life. So being around you, being around Lauren, people like that, just anytime I have that opportunity. Masterminds are really not my thing because I kind of am an introvert. I don't really feel like talking to people about
your inner soul.
Yeah, I just really don't. Yeah. And I've never been into that, but I'm if I can learn from these girls, why wouldn't I give an hour or 2 hours a month for that? So, what you guys are really good. Jen is really, really good about always suggesting books and things to read, and just pouring into that kind of stuff is important to me.
Those little nuggets that you get along the way from people that are doing things. Yeah. Like-mindedness, just like-mindedness. Levels of success. I've met people that are just getting started that have taught me a ton. And I'm I just had a guest, I've had a guest on the show that was, he's 29 years old and he's got 9 properties. He had a great mentorship, but still, he's got guts and he's methodical. So I don't know. You learn, so it doesn't matter where people come from or what they do. You can always learn something from people in the room, but that like-mindedness will draw you together. So that's what I love about the mastermind. This is funny because I feel like this is really getting out of my comfort zone. It feels, this is a podcast. I barely do social media. Radiant Financial does, we do a lot there. We try to put everything there so that we are bringing value to people that follow. But I know people want to see your face and they want to know what you do and they want to hear your story, but it's hard. It's out of my comfort zone. I don't like talking about myself. Right. One of the reasons for getting on this was to share the stories of people that are doing, I think, incredible things, whether it be, with your team and how you pour into them and the mentorship or the collaboration or, but also, we're here to talk about also the legacy you're leaving. So, how do you, talk to me a little bit about, getting out of your comfort zone, speaking on that topic, about getting into real estate investing yourself. When did you guys start?
We've done it for years a little bit, but our first niche really was we got into short-term rentals. Oh, yeah. And now we're into short-term and mid-term rentals. And that was about almost 6 years ago now. Yeah. And we homeschool our kids. Yep. And so we're just we can make this work. They can help clean. They can help do maintenance, and so it's just turned into a full-on family business.
Really?
And now we have multiple properties and my kids are responsible to go help take care of those. And
I didn't realize that. I'm sitting here, I didn't realize that they were actually plugged into that whole short-term rental business. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow, that's really cool because that even adds on to the legacy. I knew you and Eric, I knew you worked on it together, but I didn't know the kids were involved in that too. Well, that's an amazing story right there. That could be the whole show. It's just that, it's funny because you ask people, my kids have no interest in, they have shown not a ton of interest yet. Ryan's starting to be wait a second, maybe I should learn what you guys do. But I think that's amazing to give them that experience of the responsibility.
I don't know that they love the real estate side of it. Yeah. They're like, Mom, you work a lot of hours at doing stuff that doesn't sound very fun. Yeah. But But, I mean, I'm like, you want gas?
Yeah.
Go help clean that house,
Yeah.
so that's,
Wait till you go
they
get a
do it.
corporate job and then you see how much freedom and data time freedom I really
Well,
have.
and that's really like, theater's very demanding,
Yeah.
school's very demanding right now, so they can kind of work around those hours, and it works for them too. So
Yeah. That's very cool. So you ended up with, so you have short-term rentals. That's actually, that's funny too. I mean, talk to that because for folks that are interested in that, I mean, I do love the idea of it when they're successful. What have you guys done to make them successful? Because I know, is it the area you tell us about it? Because I know that
I think
hear
the
stories.
biggest, I know, like, I think the biggest thing is people want to overcharge.
Yeah.
And they're, because, two families could do this and save money and it'd still be cheaper than renting a hotel room. I, I don't inflate my prices to the point where people can't afford it. And they're just, I am booked up. Like, I'm even booking up all through next spring.
You're kidding.
Like, and the other thing is I allow pets.
Okay.
And I don't think a lot of people do that. A lot of people are afraid of it. I don't know why I think a lot of people are afraid of all the policies coming out.
Yeah. That's been a big thing. What would you say there to that? I mean, because I know it depends on the city or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's some cities I just completely stay out of.
Okay.
Phoenix is even getting a little rough right now. Scottsdale has pockets, but
You've had yours in the north, like the north and
yeah, I
west.
have Peoria and Glendale mostly. Yeah, I guess our short-term rentals are all in Peoria or Glendale. I love condos because they're low maintenance.
Yeah, no yard.
So which is really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
That keeps your costs down.
So, what's your? I mean, do you have? I mean, do you have a goal for what you want to do with real estate? Like, what's your goal for? Do you have a? I mean, do you put goals around that? How thought out and strategic are you with it?
Well, I mean, I know we would love to have 10 ongoing properties all the time,
Yeah.
like at least. Hopefully to have more, but at least while we're raising kids. I mean, we don't want to be so busy that we're like, can't spend time with our kids. But, our goal, my goal this year is to buy because my son will be going away next year to college. Yep. So my goal in the next year is to buy him his first house so that he can rent out. And then instead of just giving him money to live on every month, he has an income coming in. So he can take that and he can also have a little job on the side. So.
Yeah. Well, now he's got the experience. He's actually got the experience of doing the property management to some degree, right? Do you actually manage all your short-term rentals yourself? Oh man,
don't recommend it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what happens if? Yeah, so do you have any bad? I mean, anything that you've had to? Any bad stories that we?
Yeah, but not really. I mean, we've had probably 2 parties that were like we had to call the cops and have them bust them up, and then you clean up the mess. But I mean, if you rent through the Airbnb, VRBO, whatever, they reimburse you you send in your receipts and they reimburse you and it's fine.
Yeah, well, and people leave their information in there so they know where, I mean,
yeah.
they can be found too. People that are making the mess. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I mean, as far as stepping out of your comfort zone, has the rental properties been a step out of it, or do you feel like it's just a natural,
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like for my husband, it's a huge step out of his comfort zone. Like he's the reasonable one that's always thinking everything through, and I'm just like sure, let's do it. Hey, let's buy another property. Sure, let's start a team and do all these things we have no time for. Yeah. So
it's a little hard. You got that work. There's a little workaholic. We just did our Enneagram test. We're both achievers. Number 3s.
No, I'm an 8 actually.
You're an 8. Oh, that's right.
The scary number 8.
Well, no, that explains the hugging of all the team members. Oh, remember? Yeah, it's like you're a protector. Protector. We're getting into Enneagrams. So you've got the short-term rentals. I mean, I would just say that's amazing because you're probably getting much better returns. What are your returns looking like? I'm just curious. Do you know?
It depends, but sometimes, I think we'll make $10,000 next month on one of our places. Jeez. It's like,
Yeah. So it can be like triple, quadruple. I mean,
it's not like that every month. And truthfully, they are rented out all summer because that's always you can't rent it out at some place out in the summer. We always do.
So do you do those longer term usually? Like, or do people want to be here?
Yeah. And I do like the midterm rentals. Like if you can get a nurse in there or something like that, where they're in there for like 3 months at a time.
Okay. It's
wonderful. And they take much better care of the property and.
Yeah. They treat it like a home.
Yeah.
Yeah. What advice? I mean, what do you give your team? We've talked a lot about, getting them started. That's one of the big pushes we have when we come in as a partner to Debbie and Partners, as just like, how can we help you as agents get started in real estate? I mean, what advice do you have to your team? What's something you tell? Because I mean, obviously people watching this are like, how do I get started? I mean, I'm not a professional and I don't have this, this background or whatever, but I always say like, there's a starting point for everybody. So what's your advice?
I mean, working it the hours you need to work it. I do have a couple gals on my team that work full-time other places, but they still do the open houses.
Yeah.
They still find time every day to make the calls because you just have to be calling people. It's the constant reminder of, I'm your realtor, I'm in real estate. And my old business partner used to say, you need to tell 5 people a day that you're selling real estate, whether it's the cashier or somebody at the restaurant or but I think a lot of people have a hard time transitioning into like a job with no boss, a job with no timeline. So, I mean, we're really big about, managing your calendars well.
Yeah.
Structuring your day well. And then also being at every training, just being in real estate. If you don't have anything going on that day, go on a home tour.
Yeah.
Or go find a class, or go sit in an open house, or just constantly being in it every single day, getting up and getting out of your sweatpants and getting dressed and getting to the office.
Yeah.
The people that do that just kick off their business way faster.
Yeah. It was the same for mortgage lending too. I mean, I found my first 3 big real estate agents just going to open houses. I just would hit a neighborhood and I'd take a little water bottle and something cute in, a little blowing fan or something, because it was middle of the summer, and I found 3 producing real estate agents that way that were like, wow, I can't believe you're out here popping into an open house.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, like, that's how it just takes one relationship. Or I hung around for an hour with one because she was getting busy and that we picked up a buyer that day. I mean, and open houses are back. I mean, in 21, it was gone. There was nobody doing an open house that couldn't keep a property on the market long enough to do an open house. But It's like they're back, right? So there's so much opportunity right now in this market, I feel like, to get out there and be a professional in it.
Yep. And I mean, I sit them in every weekend pretty much. And so I try to lead by example. Like it's, I still make the effort to get out there every week and make new relationship with people and have conversations. So
I know it's really important for you. I know that like the leadership position at W Partners too is like, you really want everybody walking the talk and being able to get into real estate. And what's your feeling about that? I mean, we're trying to provide tools. We want to get an investment club going. There's a couple different angles we're trying to do, because it has gotten, the affordability has become challenging here. I mean, prices are up a little bit in Arizona. But what's your feeling on where the market's headed, and what are you seeing right now as far as opportunity goes?
I don't think there's going to be a big crash coming anytime soon. I do think there is some opportunity. We've had a lot of conversations in the last few weeks. A lot. In fact, I taught a little class on short sales the other day, because I'm one of the only people old enough in the business to actually have worked a ton of short sales when I started. And it's crazy to think of how many people are kind of in that. And I think you had a conversation with Laura, and I had a conversation with Jen about, they're having to sell, but they're only off, like $20,000 to $50,000. So maybe they can come out of pocket, or maybe they're going to have to short sell. So that's an opportunity for a new investor.
Yep.
Or an investor in general. We're buying a home on a sub 2.
Yeah. Oh, you are?
Yeah. Like, I think we're closing tomorrow. I mean, it's an opportunity to do different things.
Yep.
And unique creative financing and things like that to be able to get in. And then hopefully the interest rates will drop a little bit in the next couple of years, and then we can get in and refinance.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think, again, that creative aspect of your business, I mean, when you can educate all your people on, you meet a listing, people walk into a listing, and I've had many different professionals on here say, I go in and I offer like 3 things, cash deals, or, but if they're underwater in a situation like that, knowing the short sale business and understanding that it's sometimes just a financial vehicle, it's just a tool that can be used, but somebody's got to know how to work it.
Right.
Because that's a whole different animal.
It is.
Yeah. Well, good. I love it. I know, I'd love to see, I hope I'm going to help you get to your 10 property goal. You're pretty close, I think, right now, actually. But any other things that you want to leave for? I mean, I'm proud of you for coming on this today, because I know you were like, this was not Tiffany's favorite thing to do. So no. This was great. You did amazing.
There's only like 10 cameras pointed on us right now. It's fine, guys. It's fine.
But I think getting out of your comfort zone, it just keeps pushing you to do things, all the time. So I'm proud of you.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going to survive in this market, in this world.
Exactly. I agree with you, though. I think there's a ton of opportunity here right now. And I think coming on here today and like, showing people that there's like still an opportunity for wealth creation in this business. I mean, of all the guests that I have, there's a different strategy with what they've deployed, if you will, and their approach has been different. But I think that's the whole beauty of this, is that, as I keep talking about the legacy, sharing these stories on the legacy side, is like, look what I learned today about your kids being involved in the family business. I mean, that is actually probably the best part of the whole story today that I didn't even know was that aspect, because I think to me that's like building values for your whole family, right? Like it's carrying something they'll remember forever, and whether they get in your career field or not, they're going to apply it to whatever they do. So it's amazing.
We grew up on a ranch. We had to learn to work hard, and I wanted to just create a place where my kids knew at least work ethic.
Yeah, which you have. Yeah, you work really hard. Well, I love having you here. Thank you so much. I am excited that you did it and just were brave enough to do it today, because I knew you would. I mean, I knew you'd have no problem doing it, but I know it's not your cup of tea. So I appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks for the invite.
Of course. If you want to reach out to Tiffany, of course, I'm going to put all the links to Tiffany Pettit, her team, her partner and her team and the whole group. So you guys can reach out to her for more information, along with some other links. I think we'll put some links to some of the tools that she kind of specializes in, because it might be useful for some of you out there as well. So thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great day. See you on the next Legacy Wealth Builders podcast.